We'll get started on the drainage agenda. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Roll call. We have Joseph, Precinct 4, Joe Flores, Precinct 3, A.C. Quay, Precinct 1, and your servant, Precinct 2. We do have a quorum. Do we have anybody sign up, Laura?
No, sir, I believe we have nobody signed up.
Next item is approval of the consent agenda.
Commissioner, we have no concerns for today's consent.
For approval. Second.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
May I proceed, Commissioner?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Item 4, approval of change order number 1 in a decrease of $246.61 for Osago LLC DBA Osago Construction for the Edinburgh Wastewater Treatment Plant effluent line roadway crossing project engineer TESI infrastructure. Everything's in order and it is a deduct.
Move for approval. Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
This one is no action.
Next item.
The property from Aguilar and Dickerson.
Okay. Under item 5, acceptance and approval of the Kenneth Johnson, president of Ware Road, Ware 94 LTD right of entry. This is for the 17.5 drainage project, Commissioners. Everything's in order on that right of entry.
Second.
There's a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6, approval and acceptance of 2012 reserve refund check from Texas Association of Counties in the amount of $7,809.16. This is a credit back or a check back to the district for unemployment compensation.
Move for approval. Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7A, request approval of final negotiated agreement, professional engineering services with L&G Engineering for Precinct 4, State Highway 68, TxDOT roadway watershed study, approved for negotiation by the Board of Directors on May 28, 2013. Contract's in order, everything's ready to be executed. The work authorization in order in the amount of $329,072.48.
Move for approval. Second.
There's a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Under 2013 bond series, item B, requesting approval of work authorization number 2 in the amount of $659,457.20 to L&G Engineering for geotechnical engineering analysis, testing, and surveying as it relates to the Precinct 3 Mission Inlet recertification. We're in the process now of beginning all of the geotech and the boring to begin the preparation on those documents for the Mission Inlet.
Move for approval. Second.
There's a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item C, presentation of scoring grid of the firms evaluated the district pool of title company services for the purpose of ranking by the Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 Board of Directors in connection with title company services for 2012 bond referendum rural drainage development program, Precinct 2, Northside Village, Hidden Valley Estates, Seminole Valley, and Minnesota Meadows. The two firms that were graded and ranked were Edwards Abstract and Title Company and Valley Land Title Company. Edwards Abstract with a 97 and Valley Land and Title Company with a 92. Will the board like to hold the rankings that were placed?
Move for approval. Second.
There's a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And these rankings were provided to us by the precinct. Item D, requesting authority to negotiate title company services agreement with the number 1 ranked firm of Edwards Abstract and Title Company for the provisions of title company services as it relates to the 2012 bond referendum rural drainage development program, Precinct 2, Northside Village, Hidden Valley Estates, Seminole Valley, and Minnesota Meadows.
Move for approval. Second.
There's a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item E, presentation of scoring grid of the firm. Yes, sir.
How many companies do we have on the pool?
2.
That's it.
We just advertised probably about 4 or 5 months ago, Commissioner, and those were the only 2 firms that submitted for us. So it's a brand new contract for another 12 months, and then we will put it out again and see who participates in it.
In the negotiations, can you address the problem
Of timing,
times?
we've had conversations with them, and I know that some of the elected officials have also had conversations with them. We're preparing a draft letter for the judge's office at the direction of this board last time to send a letter to the title companies and also the appraisers to try to get items sped up and see what the delays or what can be done to expedite some of these projects, because it's all in their hands when we hire them to do the title reports and the commitments, just like with the appraisers, in their hands while they do their due diligence on it, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Item E, presentation of scoring grid of the firms evaluated through the district's pool of appraisers for the purposes of ranking by the Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 Board of Directors in connection with appraisal services for 2012 bond referendum rural drainage development program, Precinct 2, Northside Village, Hidden Valley Estates, Seminole Valley, and Minnesota Meadows. The three firms are Leonel Garza Jr. and Associates, Appraisal House, and Johnson Appraisal Group. Leonel Garza Jr. and Associates with a score of 97, Appraisal House with a score of 92, and Johnson Appraisal Group with a score of 90. These are the scores that we have if the board wishes to keep them as such.
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and second. Second, by the way. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And again, these are the ranking scores that come in from the precinct. Request authority to negotiate appraisal services agreement with the number 1 ranked firm of Leonel Garza Jr. and Associates for the provisions of appraisal services as it relates to the 2012 bond referendum rural drainage development program, Precinct 2, Northside Village, Hidden Valley Estates, Seminole Valley, and Minnesota Meadows.
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item G, requesting approval of work authorization number 4A in the amount of $32,975.40 to TESI Infrastructure Group, Inc. as it relates to the Precinct 1 2012 bond referendum improvement project for the Monte Cristo Drain Control Structure.
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item H, requesting approval of work authorization number 4B in the amount of $33,921.10 to TESI Infrastructure Group, Inc. as it relates to Precinct 1 2012 bond referendum improvement project, Westlaco North Lateral Control Structure.
Move for approval. Second.
There's a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The next two items, I'm going to discuss them in conjunction with legal counsel for the board's consideration. Approval of closing documents for the purchase of real estate from the county and authority for the chairman of the board to execute the same. This is the execution of the acquisition of the last tract of land that we're acquiring from precinct number 4, where the district is acquiring that land for the expansion of our offices. Mr. Crane, I don't know if you have any comments on that one.
That's correct. All the closing documents are here, and there'll be a similar item on the county agenda.
So everything's in order?
Everything's in order.
Okay, move for approval.
Second.
All right, those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 9, acceptance and approval by Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1, evidenced by an order authorizing the purchase of certain property as described in the attached herein from Hidalgo County for the amount approved as a fair market value. Again, I defer this to legal.
I recommend we take no action on that, as we're still awaiting an appraisal report from the appraiser.
Okay. Is this on the Dicker Ponds and that property, or
Correct.
is this on the county acquisition?
It's on the Dixon Aguilar Ponds.
Okay, sir.
It doesn't, if we take no action on it, will it take any effect on the project?
We'll just bring it back next week.
And I'll have said, there seems to be some discussion, Commissioners, on, as it relates to the fair market value of the holding ponds. It is legal's opinion that by law, we have to have a fair market value for those holding ponds. We have looked at the property, and what we had discussed was to pay the county whatever they had paid for the property and whatever the cost was of excavating that property. However, now we need to get an appraiser also to put the same value on the property before we can close. Bond counsel do not have an issue. It is more of
It's
a
under
county
Chapter
issue.
272 of the local government code.
Steve,
requires
couldn't
that.
we approve it subject to you getting those forms? And I
Well,
guess-
the closing document, what you need to do is approve the closing documents, and the closing documents have a settlement statement. On the settlement statement, the purchase price has to be the fair market value. So the settlement statement is not complete because we don't have a fair market value.
So can we make it subject to getting those things in line, rather than bring it back next week?
We would have to bring it back next week, Commissioners, due to the fact that we need to establish the fair market value when we approve the sale. If we don't have that, then basically, we would have to bring this back next week, and
All right.
Sergio, are you all recommending approval of the sale of the property to the district on the other property that was just approved?
For the Doolittle property, the one
Yeah,
that
for
was just passed?
the land that is being...
Yes, we would recommend approval of that, yes. I believe Steve Crane has already looked at all those documentations, and
Yes, that's correct.
everything's in order.
I thought it was no action going to be taken on the county side.
No, the reason, Mr. Auditor, Mr. Frasco, the reason somebody in your office raised the question of surplus property after reviewing Chapter 272 and all the other chapters in the local government code, there is no requirement for, first of all, for any property to formally be declared surplus by the Commissioner's Court, and more importantly, that provision only relates to personal property. It does not relate to real property.
That's correct, sir. As far as on the surplusing of property on the Dickerson and Aguilar ponds, the reason why we have that language is just for documentation for the court, since these are tax exempt bonds. We want to document for the record that these properties are no longer needed by the county, and that's the reason for the sale. So those are the reasons for that. Thank you.
May I proceed? Item 10,
Go ahead,
discussion. I'm sorry, sir. Item 10, discussion and possible action on a resolution authorizing the resale of foreclosure real estate property for failure to pay ad valorem tax. I believe we have somebody here from our tax collection agency.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning, sir.
For the record, my name is Hiram Gutierrez, a partner with Purdue, Brandon Fielder, Collins and Mott in association with John David Franz. We're here to present you with 88 bids received on tax resale properties. The Linebarger firm held a tax resale on April 6th at the courthouse and received 103 bids, but since then, some of them have been taken off the list, and we're left with 88 bids that we're presenting to you. I think you have the information regarding those properties for your review, and if you have any questions.
Why were they taken off the list? At the request of the bidder, or?
The firm, the Linebarger firm, just took them for various reasons, problems with the perhaps judgments, legals, et cetera, so
Maybe somebody came up and paid, or what?
I'm sorry, Commissioner?
Somebody came up and paid?
I don't think that was the case. These are tax resale properties. These are properties that we had already tried to sell them at auction, but there were no winning bids were received, so they were struck off to the taxing entities. So in essence, the taxing entities were the owners of these properties already.
Okay. Ponte la lista.
Yeah, but I mean, why was it taken off?
So we have a
Okay, and
resolution.
the action you need this morning is what, sir?
A resolution auzing the accepting those bids so the properties can be sold at those bids received.
Can we list them? I'm looking for the list. Is the list in his packet?
Yes, Commissioner. Judge, I'm sorry. At the section called resolution, right behind the resolution, there's a
Right.
list of all the properties.
¿La tienes? Aquí están todas.
I have a copy here if you'd like to.
Yeah, give them a
look
copy,
at
because they're trying to find.
I've got mine, but give it to
Give it to
Commissioner
Chief
Palacios.
Palacios. Be sure your house is not there.
That's what I'm checking.
We have another copy here in case anybody needs one.
Bring it over to the Palacios. Double check property.
Do you have the total to the,
Commissioner?
do you have the totals that are coming into the county?
The county would be recovering $74,000, a little more than $74,000.
Those properties will get back on the tax roll.
Commissioner?
They will go back on the tax roll.
Right, they go back into the tax rolls. That's the whole idea here. The bids are much less than the market value of those properties and much less than what is owed in taxes. However, what this will do is this will get the properties back on the tax rolls and tax. And I did make a mistake. It's 89 properties that we're seeking approval on. And of course, you can accept all of them, accept none of them, or accept some of them. You don't have to accept all of them.
Which ones are the ones that were taken from me?
Judge, what is your recommendation?
Well, are you, I'm sure somebody's already looked at the values and.
Yep.
I don't, have you shown them to our director,
To who,
to
Judge?
Mr. Garza?
I don't know. No, Mr. Garcia has not seen them.
Is there anything that, have you looked at them, Godfrey?
Judge, Commissioner, no, I have not looked at the list, but again, one of the items that I've seen in the past years is we have a lot of property that just sits on the sideline. And the issue is, I know it's important that the taxes be recovered, but we need to get these properties back on the tax roll.
Right.
So as far as the properties that are there, if they're private lots or they're lots, I think we need to get them back on the tax roll.
The money that was owed to us, we recovered.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line.
Okay. All right. We need a motion
I have a
to
motion, I move to approve.
Second.
approval of the resolution of the Board of Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 is presented. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Anything in executive?
Yes, sir, we do have some items in executive under some real estate issues and pending and potential litigation.
I need a motion pursuant to 55107-1 and 072 to proceed to executive session. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. It's 9:20, we'll be in executive for a while. Open session on our drainage district meeting. Mr. Garza?
Judge, Commissioners, I'd like to proceed as directed and get authority from the board to do such.
So moved.
And Mr. Garza, that was on item both 12A and 12B.
That is correct, sir, both on real estate and pending potential litigation.
All right, need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very
sir.
much, Judge, Commissioners.
All right, at this time, we're going to be convening a regular Hidalgo County Commissioners Court meeting for today, July 17, 2013. The entire court being present, we have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father in heaven, we gather today, like always, to do the work of the county. We ask that you bless everybody that's involved in that and give them wisdom. Help us all to have patience and work together. Please, dear Lord, we're always asking you for things, and sometimes we forget to thank you for the blessings that you have sent. And we thank you for the rain. Some cotton farmers don't want more rain, but we ask you to please bless the places that need it. Help us always to remember to thank the veterans and everybody who's dedicated their lives to help us be free. Bless our families, our nation, and our county. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
Amen. Where's Valerie? Valerie? Ms. Glass? Do we have time to take up one item before we get to yours? Yes. All right, at this time then, I would move on to item number 6A. Under the County Judge's Office, a resolution in honor of Ofelia Juarez Perez. This young lady has been waiting 100 years plus for this particular day, so that's...
Good morning, Commissioner. I'm Hilda Salinas from Hidalgo County Public Affairs. And today we are recognizing Ms. Ofelia Perez, who is turning 100 years old on July 24th, 2013. Ms. Perez has accomplished many great milestones in her life and will accomplish yet another by celebrating her 100th birthday. We are honoring her for her continuing legacy in life. Ms. Perez is represented today by her family, who will accept the resolution on her behalf. Her son, David Perez, Linda Regal, her niece, Julia Juarez, her niece, Martha Salazar, her niece, Martha de la Garza, two great nieces, Amy Trevino, Diane Vela, and her two great niece and nephew, Freddie and Veronica Trevino. At this time, Judge, may I please read the resolution?
We were hoping that the young lady would be here, but she's not able to come. All right, go ahead.
She wasn't able to make it out today.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Resolution in honor of Ofelia J. Perez. Whereas Ms. Ofelia J. Perez, a resident of the Rio Grande Valley, is being honored for achieving a milestone and completing 100 years of life, residency, and civic service. Whereas Perez was born on July 24th, 1913, to her parents, Enemorio Juarez and Bioquinta Laurel Juarez in Santa Teresa, Texas, in Starr County. As one of 9 children, her parents, both educators, saw her inquisitiveness and love for learning from an early age and instilled in her the importance of education. And whereas Perez graduated from Kingsville High School in Kingsville, Texas, and continued her education by attending Texas I University, where she obtained a Bachelor's of Arts degree in English and Spanish. And whereas in May 1975, she retired from the Texas Teachers Retirement System with over 36 years of teaching. Perez boasts a total of 52 years of classroom teaching at San Isidro Independent School District, South Colorado School, where she served as school principal for 2 years, McAllen Independent School District, and Edinburgh Consolidated Independent School District. And whereas Perez has been an active member in civic and religious clubs for numerous years, including the Pan American Round Table and Retired Texas Teachers, she played an instrumental role in starting the Catholic Daughters of America chapter of Our Lady Mount Carmel, where she served as regent as well as other offices. And whereas in 1947 she married her husband, the late Florentino Perez, and has 2 children, son David Florentino Perez, daughter Diana Lamar Perez. Her daughter married Juan Jaime Rodriguez and has 3 children, Selena, Jennifer, and John James. Perez has 6 great-grandchildren, Kylie, Riley, Addison, Zeth, Sean, and Ava. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby recognizes the successes in the life and continuing legacy of Ofelia J. Perez and wishes her a very happy 100th birthday. Approved this 17th day of July, 2013.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Will one of you want to say something on
Would you
behalf
like
of
to
the
say
family, or?
Yes. I get choked up. Ophelia has been an inspiration to a lot of our family. She is our pioneer. And one thing that she told me the other day is that she is so proud that she has been a good example to a lot of her nieces and nephews that have followed her path.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, just tell her we wish her well and a longer life. Whatever
Oh,
that
let me
secret
tell you,
is.
she follows her Dallas Cowboys, she follows her Spurs, and she'll give you every little stat that you need to know. She is in all her little senses, all 6 senses. The only thing that she fell a couple of years ago and she broke her hip, and it's very difficult to get her out at this time. We'll be getting her out on Saturday to celebrate her birthday, but I'm sure she would have loved to have been here.
Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to bestow this honor and acknowledgement on Ms. Perez.
Thank you, Judge.
At this time, thank you. The resolution will officially be presented to Ms. Perez by a representative of the County Judge's Office at a celebration to be held this Saturday in her honor. Thank you.
Okay.
Patito.
Okay, that's perfect. Ready? 1, 2. One more. 1, 2. One more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, at this time, we need to accommodate a lawyer that has to catch a flight, and being Ms. Valerie Glass, and therefore we proceed to executive session. Need a motion pursuant to 55107.1 and 072 to proceed to executive session.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. See, item number 4, our consent agenda. Mr. Ofracio, any concerns?
Yes, Judge. I would like to ask that consent agenda items 10C as in Charlie, 10D as in David, 10E1 and 10F1 be pulled for discussion.
Move for approval of consent agenda excluding 10C, 10D, 10E1, and 10F1.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right.
Okay, Martha Salazar for purchasing. On 10C, we do have the current insurance agreements for Quad Med, although they need to be renewed already July 24th. And on Interborough, they will be faxed in today. So another point on this particular agenda, these are medical supply providers who send everything through us, through drop shipments, through a third party. Technically, they don't come onto our property. In any case, we will have their insurances in place. So I do recommend action.
We're going to modify the contract, Marty, to remove the requirements, because those are requirements per contract.
Correct, and they're part of the boilerplate. And I will begin to be more vigilant to see if those insurance requirements are removed from that particular project. But in this case, like I say, they do drop ship through a third
You're going to
party.
make sure they have the proper insurance, and the
Yes,
one
but-
that is going to be lapsing on July 24th.
Correct, and we will not proceed with the renewal without,
All right.
To recommend approval subject to.
yes, sir.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
On the next item, they're recommending that we move this to the regular agenda. To me, these types of agreements, and this is with the state of Texas, are routine and customary, but if you wish to, and I don't have it with me, if you want to read it.
I can read it. Judge, this has to do with approval of an agreement or MOU, and I thought it'd be a good idea to have this
And this is
discussed
for
in
the
an
safety
open.
division, if I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
mistaken?
presentation of an agreement or memorandum of understanding, whichever one is applicable, between the County of Hidalgo and the Texas Department of Public Safety in connection with the ability to access electronically driver records through the Texas Department of Public Safety portal for Hidalgo County Safety Division, with authority to designate Mr. Roy Quintanilla as point of contact for said services related to this agreement.
So this is of a routine and customary nature, so that they can access driver's records for the safety division.
Why do you see a need to discuss it in open session?
Well, it's approval of a contract. You enter into a contract.
Well, we understand, but it's one of these basic form contracts.
And it is a state form of
And
agreement.
that was the only reason, Judge.
So you recommend
Oh, yes.
move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The next item, 10E1, this is just for clarification purposes. I'm going to read the way it was captioned. Instead of State FM 2221, FM 492, FM 681 to State Highway 364 is the correct caption as opposed to the way it was posted on the agenda. And then I recommend action.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
On the next one, which is 10F1, on that, we did advise the auditor's office in our responses that we will recommend no action this week.
So there's no action on 10F1.
On 10F1. 10F2 would continue as it is.
Right.
And that's all I have.
Thank you, Marty.
Do you need action on that one?
No, it's a no action.
There's
I'm
no
asking
action.
for no action. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, next item is an open forum. First presenter is Virginia Townsend.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Townsend.
This is really something to correct what I said last week, because I actually owe an apology to Eddie Olivares, who did a good job of explaining what he was trying to get you all to go along with, and I kind of got it mixed up with apples and oranges. When I am talking about not wanting you all to get into something, it's the hospital district, not what we did last week, which was a totally different thing. But I can tell you, they both went through the legislature, and there was a whole lot of people that were like me and got them mixed up. But I just thought, I jumped a little bit too much because I don't want a taxing entity, which I believe that hospital district will end up being, but not what you all passed last week. That's fine. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Next presenter is Opal Billman.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Opal Billman. Until I was sued for divorce, I believed I lived under the rule of law. The law that ruled property that Joe and I acquired during our years of marriage is community property owned by Joe and me. 1/2, 50-50. Also, the constitutional law that rules the government cannot just take for free property owned by citizens of the United States of America. The court functioned as if it owned our community property with complete dominance over it to do with our private property as the court pleases, not by the practice of law. If the Homeland Security law neutralizes private property law in this country, people can lose their property by gossip, unfounded accusations, and innuendos that libel, degrade, and humiliate, and are fabricated for the purpose of taking for free private land. Not only did the court take everything we own, I have been held in false imprisonment with continuous barratry while fraudulent contracts claiming to have sold our land are being protected and used for a transparent land grab. That's what the 275th District Court did. Grab our land and appoint their beneficiary for it, which is unconstitutional and unlawful. Under the rule of law of our state, Joe's land belongs to his 3 kids. My land belongs to me. When I die, my land belongs to my 3 kids. It's as simple as that, and it's the law. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, moving on to item 6B, presentation on Operation Lone Star.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning,
Karina
ma'am.
Cardosa with Public Affairs Office. I'd like to ask some special guests to join me at the podium. We have representatives marking this momentous occasion. This is the 15th year of Operation Lone Star, and I'd like to have Mr. Eddie Olivares from the Health Department join me up here. And we have representatives from PSJA ISD, Ms. Ariana Vasquez Hernandez, who's a Public Information Officer, and Mr. Romeo Garza, who's a Safety Officer. And from La Jolla ISD, we have Mr. Eden Ramirez, who's a Public Information Officer, and Dr. Armando Ocaña, who is the Safety Director. And we're here to announce Operation Lone Star. This is the 15th year that we have been putting on Operation Lone Star. It's a collaborative project uniting federal, state, and local health and human services agencies, U.S. and Texas military forces, local service groups, and volunteers to provide the largest public health humanitarian effort in the country. More than 300 military staff members, over 200 state and county employees, and countless volunteers give their time and talents to make Operation Lone Star a reality. Last year, 34,527 medical services were provided to 6,783 people. Again, this marks the 15th consecutive year that Texas residents have benefited from the free medical services provided by Operation Lone Star. This event helps all people, young and old, to have access to medical care. And for many, this is the only time that they even get to visit a doctor. Now, we have other partners here to be recognized because these are the 2 locations in Hidalgo County. We are going to have one at PSJA High School and one at Palmview High School. The medical services provided during Operation Lone Star include immunizations, blood pressure checks, diabetes screening, hearing and vision exams, medical evaluations, including sports physicals for students, and we're pleased to announce that at the PSJA site, we're actually going to have dental services. The two sites in Hidalgo County are made possible by the generous support and the dedication of those who are coordinating the efforts at PSJ ISD and La Jolla ISD. And on behalf of Hidalgo County, we would like to extend our appreciation to the many partners and volunteers that are making this operation possible to help bring access to critical healthcare services for Hidalgo County residents and families. I wanted to announce the dates, locations, and details of Operation Lone Star. They will be Monday, July 29th through Thursday, August the 1st, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Friday, August the 2nd, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., and the locations are PSJ High School in San Juan and Palmview High School in La Jolla ISD. At this point, I'd like to open it up to if Mr. Olivares would like to say a few words or any of the other partners.
Judge, Commissioners, just briefly, I'd like to acknowledge the hard work and dedication from the school districts along with the Department of State Health Services, Texas Military Forces, our various partners, but really a lot of thanks needs to go to Dr. King from PSJ School District, to Dr. Benavides from La Jolla School District. They have continuously provided support, and of course the wonderful team and the directors and staff that assist them for that. From our part, I'd like to thank them, and we encourage each and every one of you, Commissioners and Judge, to please visit one of the sites during the week, and you're welcome to take part in that. On August 2nd, we're having our VIP day. Correction, first, Thursday, the 1st, we're having our VIP day, and each and every one of you are invited to attend, and that'll be at PSJ High School. There's some information that they're going to pass out. Thank you.
Ariana, or again, would you like to say a few words? Sure.
Good morning, Commissioners, County Judge. Thank you for inviting us today. On behalf of Dr. King, our board members, I believe one of our board members is still here, Mr. Lupe Rodriguez, for another business, but we'd like to thank you for choosing PSJ as a site. Our community is definitely in need of these services, and this year we're really excited because we're going to provide dental. So please join us for the VIP day. We'll be there. We'll give you a tour of our facility, and you'll be able to see what we're doing and the great cause. You know, we really want to thank Hidalgo County, want to thank the State Health Department and the Hidalgo County Health Department. They've been tremendous partners. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Judge, how you doing? Morning, sir. Welcome.
County Judge, County Commissioners, I'm Eden Ramirez with La Jolla ISD, and on behalf of La Jolla ISD, Superintendent Dr. Alda Benavides and School Board, we just want to reaffirm our support to programs like this that are made possible with the hard work with county health departments and the type of work that public relations does in order to inform the community members of what's going on. And just kind of want to wrap it up into perspective that when we talk about these numbers of services, 34,000 and 6,000 children and women, these are actually citizens of the county who otherwise would not be able to afford these services, dental services, health services, vaccines, diabetes screening. So when you look at it like that, 98% of the children of almost 30,000 in La Jolla all qualify for free meals. They live under poverty line and don't have insurance, and sometimes don't qualify for a lot of the services provided. So things like this are made possible with hard work, and on behalf of La Jolla ISD, we hope to continue having your support for this and hosting us over there at La Jolla. Thank you.
Morning, Doctor. Eddie, how many doctors are coming? About 18 doctors?
We have a commitment from Texas Military Force. We have 18 physicians coming. We have representatives we have physicians, including dentists, eye doctors. We have 17 Baylor Medical Dental School students that are going to come and assist. They're actually coming down and taking part. We have over 120 volunteers from Valle Grande Vocational Program that are coming. We have about 50 UTPA, nursing, pharmacy,
So it's
and
more
support
than 100
services.
people then.
Oh, we're going to have over 400 volunteers from the Valley alone, plus about 600 overall for the whole operation, military forces and state and federal forces.
Free medical?
Free medical, sir. Yes, sir.
You were brought up the issue of paying for their breakfast or paying for their meals and that you needed a budget. Has that already been addressed?
That's been addressed, sir. We're working with, thank you to your office and some of the community areas. We're dealing with United Way, and Ms. Thelma Garza has been very supportive in working with PSJ School District and La Jolla School District and helping to deal with some of that, especially for the students that are coming in from Baylor Medical and some of the students coming in, some of the staff coming in from Florida for the dental group that they're assisting with.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I did want to mention that this operation is actually a full emergency response exercise. So it's a training exercise that provides disaster recovery training to while serving thousands of underserved and underinsured residents in a real-life, real-time crisis scenario. And once again, I would like to invite you all, the members of the court, to VIP Day. It's going to be a luncheon, and we're inviting all officials from across the county and beyond, South Texas as well, to attend and to actually hear about the services that are being provided at Operation Lone Star. And you will get a tour after the luncheon as well. And it's an opportunity for media to come and get some information also. And at this point, I'd like to present a public service announcement that our office produced. We're going to be showing this on some of the local stations and on our website and social media to encourage people to attend.
How long is it?
Operation Lone Star is coming to Hidalgo County. Come take advantage of free medical services for you and your family. Trained doctors and military personnel will be on hand to perform immunization exams, diabetic screenings, blood pressure exams, hearing and vision tests, sports physicals, dental health exams, and much more. Operation Lone Star will be held at PSJ High School in San Juan and Palmview High School in Mission. Doors are open Monday, July 29th through Thursday, August 1st, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Friday, August 2nd, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
I'm Hidalgo County Judge Ramon Garcia. I want to encourage you to attend Operation Lone Star and make the most of the free medical services that are being made available. Over 18 medical doctors and other military personnel are donating their time and talents for the benefit of Hidalgo County residents.
For more information, go to our website, co.hidalgo.tx.us, or call 956-318-2426.
So once again, we encourage all residents to take advantage of these free medical services. It'll be the last week in July, and we hope that you all can make it as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank all of you. Item 6C, the presentation on the Hidalgo County Employee Scholarship Program.
Yes, thank you. We're here today to announce the Hidalgo County Employee Independent Scholarship Program. Application period is now open for all Hidalgo County employees and dependents. The county will award for you, the University of Texas Pan American Scholarship will sponsor 2 scholarship recipients, 1 employee and 1 dependent in the amount of $1,000 per academic semester for 2 semesters. And the South Texas College Scholarship will sponsor 4 scholarship recipients, 2 employees and 2 dependents in the amount of $500 per academic semester for 2 semesters. This is a way of encouraging our employees to continue their education and attain a higher education. We have sent this out to all employees, but we wanted to encourage them to apply. Now, the application process is going to be performed at the universities themselves. They're the ones who select the employees that are being awarded. We just wanted to announce that the application period will be open until the deadline is Friday, August 16th, 2013 by 5 p.m. If any employee or any employee who has a dependent who's interested in applying and they have a question, they're free to call our office at 292-7026. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, item 7, Mr. Guerra.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. No action item 7A, 1, 2, unless there's action to be taken further down the agenda. Judge, I'll skip item 7B, 1, 2, and 3 out of abundance of time. Item 7C, Judge, I'm asking the court to consider a request from the Edinburgh Pro-Life Committee to utilize the open forum area on the courthouse grounds for a prayer rally on Saturday, August 17th of this year from 9 to 11 a.m. All appropriate documentation will be in place, including the insurance requirements, as well as the Sheriff's Office being made aware of the rally from a security standpoint. So all our protocols will be followed.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D, Judge Commissioners, I'm asking approval of closing documents for the sale of real property to Drainage District and authority for County Judge to execute same.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E, I'm asking the court to accept a settlement check from HIDCO Insurance Company in the amount of $65, and this will settle an auto accident with one of our county vehicles.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item F is discussion and possible action on an order authorizing the resale of foreclosed real estate properties for failure to pay ad valorem taxes.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, with your permission, I will continue on the constable side. 8A, Constable Precinct 2 is asking to appoint Mr. Daniel Gomez as a Reserve Deputy Constable by Constable Martin Cantu, and this would be in accordance with Texas Local Government Code, Section 86.012.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B for same, for Constable Precinct 4, they are requesting appropriation of the 2013 funds in the amount of $1,302.14 into their investigation House Bill 65 fund to purchase police gear.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Judge, Commissioners, again, with your permission, for the district courts under the master court, they're requesting approval of process of payment for the following invoice. A Sign Language Company, it's invoice dated April 20th of last year, invoice 8335 in the amount of $285. This obviously would be done with authority for the county treasurer to issue payment after
So
review,
moved.
audit, and processing procedures are completed.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Item 10, our HR department. Good morning.
Judge, Commissioners. Item 10A, under the Sheriff's Department, approval to remove clothing allowance as follows, effective next full pay period of 7/29/13, slot 57 and slot 65 of $500 each.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those
And
in
then-
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 2 is approval to authorize clothing allowance as follows, effective next full pay period for slot 29 and slot 41, $500 each.
Move for approval. 2 and
The-
3.
2 and 3, those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And under B, for the Elections Department, approval to create the following temporary full-time positions. Slot 151,
How
slot,
temporary are they?
I'm sorry?
How long are they going to be? Just,
Probably just to the end of the year, Judge. It's normally 6 months, but I think they will expire in December. If I'm-
okay.
Would
Is
you
this in
like for me to
compliance
read
with the
them?
policy, Secretary?
So moved for 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
Would this be compliant with the policy?
Judge, Commissioner, just to address the auditor's concern is regarding the policy that was approved by Commissioners Court. There was a clarifying statement made last week during Commissioners Court that this would not apply to special purpose funds or grant funds. These are neither, however, this is an emergency, not necessarily emergency, this is needed for the elections that we contracted with. These were contracts that we came into place this year, so these are needed for that process. And this would be within the scope of the policy. If
There
court deems
probably
it.
will be a greater need for March than it will be for November. You know. I'm not sure if.
I believe she said she has some elections in September.
Yes, we just approved contracts, I believe, for these elections.
Elections take place all year. We just finished 2, and we are now getting ready to perform 4 more this September, and then getting ready, of course, for November. But the temps don't help us just run elections. They help us during the summers to help with the retention schedule, to help with the cleaning, to help with everything that comes with the aftermath of an election.
No, I know you need them. We're trying to extend them through March, not to, that's why I asked how long. they're
Oh,
gonna
okay,
be.
well, then that would be from January, well, okay, the primary next year will be all year as well.
Yeah.
We would
Then
come
approve
back.
any temporary positions during the budget process for 2014.
Sergio.
At that time, that's when we would address that.
Can you address this during the budgeting cycle for next year?
Yes, we can address this for the budget cycle for next year. However, this particular item, we need it for this
Yeah.
election, so
Yeah.
yes, sir.
All right, those in favor, the motion is made and seconded, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. I didn't have to read the whole item under the temporary slots. That's okay?
It's already been approved.
So,
Okay.
What about C?
what about C? Because I think C had the same issue, Judge, on the
Under precinct
the
4.
policy.
Oh, precinct 4, I'm sorry. Approval to create the following temporary part-time position. It's temporary slot 079, heavy equipment operator 2, at $8,393 a year.
That within the policy.
It's,
Again, based on the clarifying statement that the court made, we are working on the revision of the policy. However, I have not run those through legal yet, so that's why we did not put them through on this agenda, the revisions to that policy. Again, the policy, as was clarified last week, it only applies to the general fund departments, that the unrestricted funds within the general fund. This is a road and bridge position, and the policy does not apply to this.
All right. Need a motion to
So
approve?
move for 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Item 11, our DA's office. They're requesting approval to apply for the Border Prosecution Unit grant. Any questions?
So move.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 12, our sheriff's office.
Hey, Judge, Commissioners, Richard Ozuna, Sheriff's Office, Hidalgo County, on behalf of Sheriff Guadalupe Trevino. Under item 12A, it's approval to process the following AT&T invoices as claims with authority for the county treasurer to issue a check after auditing procedures are completed by the county auditor as listed in the grid. If you'd like me to read them out, but they're listed.
Judge?
Yes.
Comment regarding this item and the other items in reference to long-distance calls. Just that we will pay those invoices upon verification that all of the calls were made for business purposes.
Well, what are they supposed to do to verify it?
Well, we need to access the information that either AT&T or whatever the carrier is. At this point, we're having difficulty in doing so. That's what I thought I'd let you know, that I need to verify that before I can make payment.
Judge, Commissioners, the only concern I have is law enforcement. And so if you're trying to verify who they call by phone numbers, that may interfere with law enforcement issues regarding the people they are calling. So I think I'd propose that you just get statements from the Sheriff's Department that these were all for business use.
That makes some practical sense.
That is correct.
They may be involved in the middle of an investigation, and all that would do would create an open record.
Let me tell you what I'm doing, Judge. I'm going into the website of the carrier, and I'm listing all of the calls, and I'm sending over to the department for them to verify that those calls were made for business purposes. That's what I'm doing.
Well, would a simple statement from them or a letter indicating these are all business-related calls, will that satisfy your office?
And that's basically what I'm requesting from them to notify or to confirm that, just in a statement fashion.
Can we get that? Can we approve it?
So we can do that, or I can just let Mr. Alfaracio know, any and all services that are used by the Sheriff's Office or in long distance, it's strictly investigative purposes for the Sheriff's Office.
Well, let's just submit something to the auditor that will reflect that.
Very well.
Okay.
All right, those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under item B is approval to process the following Gregorio Peña, PhD, invoices for psychological evaluation for new hires as claims with the authority for the county treasurer to issue a check after the auditing procedures are completed by the county auditor as listed below. So we're still in the process of actually going out for proposals for the following services.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 13, our Health Department.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. I'd like to go with 13A, discussion and action including but not limited to indigent health care program and 1115 waiver and/or expenditures. Just a reminder, sir, on July 23rd, we're scheduled to have a hearing on the Hidalgo County Health Care Funding District. At that point, all the discussions will be open to the public and everyone will have an opportunity to ask questions and get information on this at an additional level. So that's just a reminder for everyone.
That'll be when?
July 20, next Tuesday.
Next
sir.
meeting.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And it's scheduled from 10:30, I think from 10:30 to 11:30, sir, I think. Item B, sir, is approval to process the following AT&T invoice as claim with authority for the county treasurer to issue check after auditing procedures are completed by the county auditor.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Sir, item C is approval to pay a claim to Valley Water, bottled water in the amount of $15.75 for water delivery on 7/1/13. This may actually have already been taken care of, but we're doing this as just an item, just in the event that it was, so we can get this covered.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 10, sir, item 13D, I'm very proud of this. This is a new program we've started in Hidalgo County Health and Human Services, requesting approval of certification of revenue in the amount of $128,033.40. Funds are from the Health and Human Services Commission Medicaid Advisory Claiming Reimbursement Program. And then item 2 on the same issue is requesting approval to appropriate the MAC budget in the amount of $128,033.40.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
This is a program that for the last 4 years we have been working to get on, and we finally were able to meet all the criteria and steps that we're actually generating. This is the first quarter generation of 128,000. We're anticipating generating about 80 to 90,000 in revenue that would come and help to procure different items in the future to offset costs from even our general fund to buy different items, vaccines, support services, things like that, that would be helpful to us. And this is a program that, like I said, took my team 4 years to get, and we finally got it, so we're going to be able to generate some revenue on that. Item 13E is pursuant to local government code section 157.903, requesting approval and identification of uncollectible fees in the amount of $10. Item 2 is requesting authorization approval to replenish the Environmental Division Food Handler Certificate Account Fund. And
Eddie, let's take those one by one.
Okay, item 1 is the first one, sir, to replenish that. There was an error done by one of our staff in the count, and they were $10 short, and we're looking at reimbursing that, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Eddie, excuse
Aye.
me,
Yes, sir.
going back to item D,
D, yes, sir.
did we take action on,
1 and 2.
1, 2, or 1 or 2?
Both.
And
Item 13E, Section 2, requesting authorization and approval to replenish the Environmental Division Health Food Handler Certificate Fund.
Move for approval.
second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 13E, Section 3, requesting authorization and approval to direct Ms. Norma Garcia, Hidalgo County Treasurer, to generate a check in the amount of $10 payable to Hidalgo County Health and Human Services in order to adhere to the above action.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item F, sir, is requesting approval of Lamar Company's contract, which has been reviewed by our Josie Ramirez and Victor from the DA's office, and they accepted the contract. This is for advertising some of our vaccination programs, flu season programs, things like that, to announce.
You're talking about those billboards on the highway? Or
Yeah.
something? Okay. Need a second?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much, Judge Commissioners.
Thank you, Eddie. Item 14, is there anything to report? Nothing. Item 15, facilities management.
Judge Commissioners, Daniel Flores, Facilities Management. 15A, approval of request for payment to the City of Edinburgh in the amount of $42 under PO 694618 with authority for County Treasurer to issue check after review auditing process. Procedures are completed by the County Auditor.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Yep.
Item 16, our HIDCO Task Force.
Morning, Judge Commissioners. Item 16A is approval to amend, increase the 2013 HIDCO Task Force U.S. Department of Treasury Asset Forfeiture Fund budget in the amount of $50,000 and appropriation of those funds.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's for 1 and 2?
For one, I believe.
1 and 2.
Well, we only did one. I didn't see your, did you cover 2 also?
Number 2 would be the appropriation of those funds of
Fine.
$50,000.
Need a motion for
Move
number
for
2.
approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carries. Thank you, sir. Item 17, Urban County.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Our first item on the agenda is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262.024 for professional engineering services.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carries.
The next item is a presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court of the three firms evaluated. This is for a project in the city of HIDCO. The three firms evaluated were Fulcrum Construction with a 94.66, Quintanilla with a 92.33, and Gutierrez Engineering with a 91.33. Would you like to rank them in that order?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is the authority to negotiate the professional service contract with the number one ranked firm of Fulcrum Consulting Services for this water and sewer improvement project.
So
Move for
moved.
approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, our next item is a request on behalf of the City of Palmview requesting consideration and action to award and enter into a construction contract with Texas Cordia Construction for a 2011 street improvement project. The amount of the contract would be $110,665.20.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Requesting authorization to enter into agreement with the Texas Homeless Network Agency Partner for HMIS services and authorize the UCP director to sign. This is a requirement of HUD that we must participate in one of these systems.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Next item is requesting the approval of the Emergency Solutions Grant Program subrecipient agreements with the following. This is with, the first one is the Advocacy Resource Center for Housing in the amount of $111,500. Catholic Charities of the Rio Grande Valley with $149,500. Women Together Foundation for $178,900, and the Salvation Army for $80,217.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Need one more. Aye, motion carries.
Second.
Consideration and approval to authorize the submission of a contract amendment, number 1, which is a performance statement and budget amendment to the General Land Office, contract number 12-589-000-6887. The performance amendment will include the modification to the Alberta drain necessary to meet project specifications. The budget amendment will include the force account labor committed by Hidalgo County Precinct Number 4 at a cost of $727,185.60 from the Rural Development Funds account.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is the approval of the resolution regarding the funding from the Texas General Land Office and the funds committed by Precinct 4.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262.024A4 for construction material testing.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court of 3 testing firms from the county's approved pool. The 3 firms evaluated were Terracon with a grade of 92, MEG Engineers with a grade of 90.33, Professional Service Industries with a grade of 88.66.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Authority to negotiate the professional engineering service contract with the highest ranked firm of Terracon for this street improvement project in Precinct 1.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, our final item is requesting the approval to authorize the Urban County Director to sign Exhibit A, the irrevocable directive of draw proceeds of a master disbursement agreement for Castle Enterprises LLC to employ the services of a disbursement agent, Acon Incorporated, for the Precinct 1 Street Improvement Project, which is Science Avenue. This is a request that was submitted to us by the in bond company.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 18, our Elections Office.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Item 18A, number 1 and 2, I ask for a no action. We have communicated with the Republican chair, and he is in the midst of preparing the list. You are in receipt of item number 1. If you would like to act on item 1, you may, and if not, then I will bring this back next week so that there will be action asked for on both.
I think we probably ought to wait and do it at the same time.
Okay.
But I requested a list, and for every commissioner and myself of the judges, the list that was provided was for Election Day.
Yes, sir.
What about early voting? Do you
Okay.
have that particular list of who the judges are going to be?
That we're still working on because we work off this list that is approved, and then we work off the early voting, which we will bring to the court. So what you're voting on is just for Election Day, because this is provided by the chairs. And so the code says that they provide the major list, and then we bring it for early voting for you then to approve.
All right, well, give us, when you want to bring that list, please give us that list at least a week ahead of time.
Okay. Of course, sir, I will. The deadlines are not the same anyway for this, for the list submitted by the chairs versus the list for you to approve. So I will provide that for you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, item 19, Ms. Doors, I was looking for you on the list, I could never run into your number.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. I would like to inform you today that Vidal Signs, my coworker, who is with the A&M Prairie View System, has been recognized as the extension agent for the Administrator's Award for all of his efforts in getting programming for the small farmers of the Rio Grande Valley and for helping them get a little over $6 million in loans, production loans as well as land loans. And these loans are 4% for land and only 1.25% for production. And he was recently recognized all over the state.
Congratulations, sir. And thank you for the work that you've done on behalf of our residents here in this county. And if you don't mind, could we take a picture with you?
Yes. Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, right here.
Yeah, up here. Oh, me too. Okay.
Okay, great. Ready? Because the podium is in the way.
Okay.
Right there is fine. Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, President.
Sorry about the wait.
And at this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Ruben Saldana, who is our district administrator.
Thank you, Barbara. Judge, Commissioners, we'd like to, we had a vacancy in our family resource position here with the County Extension Service, and we have gone through a series of interviews, and we'd like to make a recommendation to fill that position, and would like to bring that forward to you. Our recommendation is Andrea Valdez. Andrea is here with me. She's a native of the Weslaco area, and her mom came with her, so I'll introduce Mary as well, along with her dad, who's the late Erasmo Valdez, if you know Erasmo from down in there that did a lot of farming. But anyways, Andrea got her bachelor's degree at the University of Incarnate Word, and is finishing up a master's degree at the Texas A&M Health Science Center, and she brings with her a lot of experience in the medical field with a lot of the hospitals and physicians in the valley. So that's a very positive attribute that she brings with her to Extension. So we're real happy to have someone like her interested in a position with AgriLife Extension and with the county, and we think she'll bring valuable experience and knowledge to both. We just ask y'all to consider that here this morning.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Well, welcome aboard. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Next item, number 20, our WIC program.
Judge, Commissioners, with the court's permission, I'll present. For the WIC Department, we're requesting approval to pay a water deposit to the city of FAR in the amount of $150. This is for the Las Milpas WIC Clinic located at 125 East Las Milpas Road, Suite E in FAR. Obviously, with the authority of the county treasurer, issued check after review, audit, and processing procedures are completed by our county auditor.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 21, Precinct 1.
Judge, Commissioners, I believe item 1 was approved last week. So we're going to item 2.
You don't want any action on 1?
No action, item 1. It was approved last week. Item 2 is the one that we had to go back, and there were some questions on it. I believe we've satisfied the legal's recommendation or request. So we're asking for approval of the waiver of the appraisal report.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Road. Road. B.
Barbara, you know, while we want to apologize, we should have taken a picture with that young lady. And Mr. Yeah, well, we can put her on our website and.
She's a foreman.
Oh.
Where?
What?
Do you need more? Right there. Okay, ready? Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Sorry about that. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Or one over here with her comment. 1, 2. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations again. All right, let's move on to item 21-2.
Actually, it's 21B, Judge.
Okay.
That's authorization and approval to appoint Antonio Lopez to the Emergency Service District Number 2 Board for the term of July 1, 2013 through December 2014, as per pursuant to Texas Health and Safety Code Section 775.034.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Item 22, Precinct 2.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Raul Ziliero, Precinct 2. 22A, we're asking for, to rescind action taken on 6/25/2013 on agenda item 39401 that approved interlocal between the city of Alamo and the city of and the county of Hidalgo. And we're doing so because we made a minor change in terms of the reimbursement. So if we can rescind the action on item 1 first, Judge.
So moved. So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Instead of us paying and reimbursing and getting reimbursement from the city, they're going to pay upfront, so we made that change. So the item 2 is in accordance with section 791014. of the code requesting approval to construct a portion of Cesar Chavez Road in Alamo. That's the approval of the project.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And then 3 would be approval of the interlocal agreement between the City of Alamo and the County of Hidalgo to negotiate acquisition of real property required for the reconstruction of Cesar Chavez Road.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Item 23.
Item 23A is approval of 2013 appropriation of funds from certificates of obligation 2010 A and B to the courthouse project in the amount of $88,093.18. These are the interest earnings that we've earned on that certificates of obligation.
Let's see, where's this money coming from?
This is the interest earnings from the COs that we issued. So these are sitting in the fund balance, so we're appropriating these funds for that courthouse project.
What is this courthouse facility program?
Would be the new courthouse.
The what, sir?
The new county courthouse?
For the new one that we
Yes.
intend to construct?
Yes, sir.
Do we need to have some kind of an action to create a fund, a special courthouse construction fund?
For a construction fund, what we would recommend is that we just, as we get new source revenue, that we designate those revenues for the construction of a new courthouse. However, we would not need to create a fund per se. We would just reserve those funds. Or
So every
not
time
reserve
you're
them, but
receiving,
designate them. Yes.
you're appropriating them.
Every time that, if we sell a piece of property or do we have one-time revenues that come into the county, when the auditor certifies those revenues, we would designate those revenues for the construction of a new courthouse.
Why don't we put an item on the agenda for our next meeting where we will be able to act and make sure that happens?
Yes,
The creation of that.
This is not.
Well, this would be on a case-by-case basis. As new revenues are being certified, we would just, designate them into those funds. I believe in August, the auditor will certify any new revenue that has come to the county for this fiscal year, and at that point, when we approve the certification of those revenues, we can designate them for this fund, for this project or any other project.
Well, the court always designates where it goes to, so
Correct.
it's in place already.
There's no need to create a fund. You just designate it.
We would just designate those funds for that purpose.
Designate them, identify the money so that they will be used for that purpose.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, sort of like you did with the proceeds of the settlement of the
Similar to the
jailhouse.
landmark settlement.
Yeah, you got the funds and you set them aside for the specific
For jail
purpose.
repairs.
Okay.
Did we take
Thank
action
you.
on that, on the appropriation?
Yes.
Action was taken?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 24.
Yes, Martha Salazar, Purchasing Department. Let's start off with recommending award of bid and approval of contract document to sole bidder, meeting all specifications and requirements, STX Snack Time Vending Company. And this is for the vending machine services required. There was a question from the auditor as to who would be doing the billing. The monitoring is going to be done, and it is included in the legal notice that it would be the budget office. It's already included in
Who's going to be doing it, Marty?
the budget office.
Budget office? Okay.
Yes, in other words, they'll be monitoring the incoming invoices as opposed to sending. There was no way for us to send an invoice, but they
Right.
will be monitoring, and
Well,
it is part of the document.
Right. The reason we have a question was because last time when there was a revenue or a vending contract.
Right, that wasn't.
We never collected any revenue.
Exactly, exactly. And when we revamped this particular project again, that was the initial intent to begin with, okay? So I do need action, please. By the way, the commission paid to the county will be 11% of all sales.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
On item 2A, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under 262-024A7C, and that is a utility.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2B is approval of a sole source declaration for Time Warner for the provision of telephone services for Hidalgo County's all offices, departments, programs, or agencies.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Approval for Hidalgo County elected offices, departments, and so forth to purchase telephone-related services from Time Warner. We have received of this morning their insurances, and they have been distributed to the pertinent parties.
Is that the one we approved in the Exhibit C, Marty? or-
That's the one that you had, you wanted to know, since Exhibit C was included
Right.
in the backup, we have asked for them. But again, this is going to be a service that's remotely provided. But in any case, we did ask and we did receive the insurance requirements. Did we take action on C?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, number 3, this is acceptance and approval to execute the final form of AIA agreement with ERO Architects as approved for negotiations in April of this year in connection with the schematic design phase for a new Hidalgo County courthouse. That has now been fully negotiated, and we have the final form of agreement that was reviewed by legal counsel.
This is on the new
This is-
courthouse?
This is just the
Correct.
schematic design phase for the new courthouse. We
Can
would
you,
now proceed with the next
can you advise the court as to the amount of, what the terms are?
It's $836,550.
Judge, I would recommend that we have an item on the agenda, standing item, so we can keep the public informed of what we're looking at. We look.
That would be appropriate.
Yes, sir. We can add it
And do it
under the executive office.
just like we did for the jail and we did for the other big
Correct.
projects.
That has now been moved under, now that it's
an
been
accounting
negotiated, it would be under the executive office to keep you abreast of any reports coming in on the progress of the schematic
But
design.
that would be a standing item.
It'll
on
be a
the
standing
agenda.
item. Yes, sir.
Right.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion for approval, but also with some comments. Obviously, we have a lot of moving pieces to this hopes of building a new courthouse. We had a meeting at your office weeks ago, and also I had a meeting with the budget office earlier. And in regards to getting ready, we have to do our due diligence to get closer and closer to get this courthouse done. But there are also some obviously there's going to be budgetary needs. We're working with the city of Edinburgh. We're also counting on a couple of initiatives that the county's doing to somewhat bridge the gap of the funding need for the courthouse. So I suggested a workshop in the near future, whether it's a week or so, to start talking about certain financial processes that we need to look at to be able to fund the entire courthouse. But I support us moving forward. I just want to make sure that we're very
Plus, we
objective.
need to get, excuse me, pero we do need to get some feedback from the general public and see that they're on board with what we're planning or looking at.
And see where all our funding is coming from.
Sure.
Correct. Every aspect of the project itself.
Because it impacts on the whole county.
Yeah, I want to remind the court that we do have a committee already in place, a citizens committee. I believe there's 25 members, or is it, it's at least 25 members. Each one of us appointed 5 members to that committee.
Can you give
and-
us
I'm
a
sorry.
different copy with the listing of
Yes, Rick, after the meeting, just provide every commissioner with a copy of the list of the members of that committee. And, we can add to it, take away, whatever you'd like.
Yeah, get us a copy also. Rick.
Judge, I will caution the court, I know Sergio will probably shed light a little bit. I mean, there's also a lot of demands. We're projecting a lot of areas where we're going to seek funding to be able to fund the courthouse. Right now, we have no debt capacity right now. We're looking at 2015, 2016, potentially financially that the county can actually address the courthouse. But I just think it's very apparent that we have to look at the financial structure of the county and figure out at what point and from where we're going to be able to fund this courthouse.
We do have a financial advisor, which I think need to get on the agenda, Judge.
So do you think we should take
We
no
can
action
have
and have a workshop or?
Well,
I would recommend that we have a workshop regarding the financial constraints that we're going to be working under as far as for financing this courthouse. As far as from a budgeting standpoint, I would like to know whether we're looking at no new taxes. And then if we are, then basically everything would have to come from our M&O side. We can do projections as far as revenue increases and where we can cut, but I would like to present that to the board, because some of these options that we would have could be considered perhaps maybe a little bit too aggressive by the court, right? I'd like to get some feedback. So I think a workshop, perhaps maybe in about 2 weeks, for us to bring something back.
Sergio,
if the
but
court-
we do need the financial advisor on board
Yes.
to keep us abreast of what the options look at.
Yeah, and
What
our
they
office
look
has been
like.
meeting with the financial advisor, with Mr. Vela and with Ms. Anberger, looking at different financing options that the county could do, doing some type of wraparound debt structure. And basically, we would do interest-only payments probably for the first 5 years, and then as our debt service requirements drop off, we would start paying into the principal. We have run those scenarios, but we can present those to the court during our workshop.
Sergio, it goes beyond the courthouse. We're looking at making a major investment in our jail, for example,
Yes.
and other capital improvements that we need to take into account.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Commissioner. We were projecting some savings in the privatization of solid waste, or the trash collection. We were projecting on a reduction on UPL. We were projecting on an insertion of money or an investment by the city of Edinburgh. A lot of these are presumptions we're making at this point in time. We're assuming we're going to it, but there's nothing concrete at this point in
It's
time.
not a guarantee that we're gonna get that money, for
But
sure.
the problem on that is that it may be that each of us have a different take on how to utilize the resources. And we cannot say, I don't think this court has decided that any savings from the privatization, if the county chooses to go that route, that is going to be earmarked for the courthouse.
Well, hence the reason why we need a workshop and to assure that we stay committed to this. I mean,
But as far as the schematic design services, I mean, that we're going to need them. We're going to, why not act on them? It's going to take them about eight months to get them done.
It's a 5-month contract. Commissioner, that's what I was going to make a comment. At the workshop, you also need to start thinking about the next 3 phases of this project. I mean, this is just one phase.
The city of Edinburgh wants us to, what I was going to bring up, wants to have a joint meeting on this issue. Remember, they're already, they made us aware that they would be willing to contribute money towards payment of this schematic design phase, and also up to, I believe, $20 million on the building of the courthouse. So it's an important meeting we need to have with them to talk about, well, whatever their interest may be.
Right, and I mentioned that only because, Commissioner, we need to address what all the costs involved beyond the schematic design is going to be included in this workshop. I think that has to be also included.
It probably won't hurt to wait a week or two on this.
Oh, no, it's a 5-month, I'm just saying, your next phases should kind of follow after this thing is complete. So workshops should include those discussions. I'm just recommending.
Commissioner Palacios, is my understanding, if I heard you correctly, I think what you would like also is for us to do some type of a capital needs assessment county-wide to see what we're looking at, not just courthouse-wise, but county-wide for different, I know we have vehicle replacements that need to be done.
Sure.
Is that what, am I understanding? That way we can start?
And so
we can start
I'm
that
not
assessment.
disputing the courthouse is a primary demand that we have, and I'm wholeheartedly supportive of the courthouse. I'm just saying
we
we've been
need it, we
talking-
need to have it, and we're all
I
for it.
don't think it's a question whether we support a building of a new courthouse. I think the whole board is on board. But we also need to address the other problem areas.
Mine is a basic fundamental approach, a methodical approach, knowing that, yes, move it forward, get it ready, but at the same time, we need a forecast when those monies are going to be available. From the meeting that I had, it projects somewhere 2015, 2016. Now that's 3 years down the road. We're aggressively going against schematic design, what I'm not opposing either, but that's a 6-month process. If our funding source isn't for 2 to 3 years, then what are we talking about right now? We got to fundamentally look and talk about everything right now. And if we're going to project to reduce UPL and turn around and get monies from privatizing the solid waste, then the court needs to be committed to say those monies are going to be earmarked for courthouse fund, and we realistically can look at a more aggressive schedule like 2013, 2014, 2015. Well, we're on board, but we need to hit it comprehensively. We need to talk about it, which we have not. I had requested a meeting with our financial consultant, our financial advisors, to see what it is our cap is, and at what point we're going to have adequate funding to be able to actually build the courthouse. And so those are a lot of the things that have not happened. We've looked at it, but I don't think we've looked at thoroughly. I don't object moving forward. I'm just saying if we're going to move forward, we better aggressively start having some meetings. We better start identifying the actual funding we're going to go after to be able to build it.
Because
And
theoretically,
needs.
at the end of this process, which is schematic, the target on the projected cost is going to become more evident to the court. So it'll fall right in line
Right.
with what you want to discuss at a workshop. How much are we talking about in seeking funding just for the courthouse itself? And then, of course, your other projects that you,
I
Commissioner, are
still
alluding to.
feel that we need to take a global approach on this and identify those areas that need attention, such as the jail, the courthouse.
Yeah, comprehensive improvement plan on.
And don't forget about our commitment of $1 million for the medical school.
Exactly.
That still is, we haven't factored in. We didn't factor it in this budget, but it's going to affect us every year to come.
It's all going to be coming in at about the same
Our
time.
commitment for what, sir?
For the medical school, our financial commitment. It's about $1 million
Yes,
a year.
it was $1 million.
Yeah.
Right.
But all of that need to be taken into account so everybody can have a same point of reference. Because we're talking X number of millions here, X number of millions here.
Yeah, we gotta have a good plan, you know, we don't wanna run into something like, you know, the horrible buildings and then get caught in the middle of, you know, more money and more money and more money. I mean,
Right.
why don't we just plan it right
You
and,
know, my concern, Joseph, is that I keep hearing that our fund balance has dwindled from this amount to this amount.
We anticipate using at least perhaps about $4 to $5 million of our fund balance for this fiscal year, and we expect the same for the next fiscal year.
Let me ask you, have you had a chance to look at the fund balance?
Yes, sir. Yeah, the fund balance, right, the estimated fund balance for the end of the year, we're estimating roughly about $28 million. Again, this next budget cycle, again, is going to be similar to last year's. We don't have a huge increase in revenues. We do already have increased cost in personnel in the sheriff's substation, the medical school funding. We have other commitments that we've committed to, so we do have increases, and we do project that we will have to, again, tap into our fund balance to be able to make it through 2014. One of my concerns would be the sustainability of tapping into that fund balance, and then also maintaining the fund balance requirements to be able to have, to maintain our credit ratings for when we do go out for the construction of this courthouse. We would need to be cognizant of how much we use our fund balance.
So your projected fund balance at the end of the year is going to be
27.
around
Roughly about 27 million.
From where? From what?
Right now, the fund balance as it sits right now is $19 million. So we expect to recoup back some monies that we used during the 2013 budget. Again, we dipped into the fund balance roughly about $17 million. And we do expect to recoup some of that money. However, we will not recoup all of it. So we do expect to use some of that fund balance.
Why don't we talk about what are we gaining by waiting? If all of us are in agreement that we need a courthouse, what is it that we're going to be gaining by waiting to start working on this design phase? It's going to take.
I don't think it's a matter of the design phase of it.
Well, that's the issue before us, though. That's what I'm asking.
What I'm bringing out is that we need to take a look at the total picture, keeping in mind that there's a process to be followed, and we're looking at the design. Let's go ahead with it. Pero we need to consider that.
We're not going to do anything until we know we can afford it. And the meantime, they're going to be working on the plans. That's all they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Okay. Well, I know we have a motion. Is there to go ahead and approve this contract? Is there a second to it?
Second.
Marty, you said that there was funding in place for this,
For the
this cost?
800,000?
$800,000 or $900,000? Is the budget
The
funding in
836,
place? Sir?
that was something he took care of.
Yes, that was part of the appropriation.
The item that you appropriated. a little
COs that
bulk.
you
Yes,
appropriated?
from CL 1342.
Right.
The 2010 CL.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve this contract. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously.
Judge, and just for the record, my comments are merely just so that the court would be aggressive in making sure we bridge the funding gap that we obviously are projecting so that we can realize a courthouse project. That was merely my comments.
Yeah, no, I think all of the comments that have been made have been very appropriate. I mean, we need to be cognizant of our future needs, the county's future needs, and what we as a community, as a county can afford. I think all of that should be and will be taken into consideration before we start letting out any more contracts.
Absolutely, Judge.
Judge, Commissioners, then, with that being said, I heard about having a workshop with respect to the finances. Should I then delay the workshop, the joint meeting workshop with the city of Edinburgh?
No, we're
until
going to
such
keep
time?
on talking to them.
I wouldn't delay it.
No.
Okay,
I mean,
so-
we need them on board.
Okay,
We were
so
going to
then-
have it today,
Right,
except
but
Mayor Garcia was
out
not
of
able to
town.
be here.
Right, so I'm scheduling it for next week, Tuesday.
We don't want to be in a situation where they spend those 20 million, they want to.
Okay. Then I'll proceed I'll proceed with Tuesday next week.
All right.
Going on to item 4A, presentation for discussion, consideration, of applicable action for the nomination of at least 3 firms from Hidalgo County's current pool of construction management service providers. And this would be for the construction management services dealing with renovation and remodeling of the former administration building, 100 East Cano.
I want to nominate Prodigy.
You do have the list as an attachment, and they are one of the members of the pool.
You need 3?
Yeah, at least 3, yes.
I don't have a problem with your recommendation.
There's 16 in your
The list
pool.
attached, Marty?
Pardon me?
Is it attached to the agenda?
Yes, it's an exhibit. I think that's the only attachment we
I
have.
mean, Prodigy, I mean. Yeah, I would also go along with Prodigy. I think that they're a good firm.
He's
I
worked
need-
with the sheriff's upstate. I have no problem.
No, I understand, but we do need 3.
You still need 3? Even-
Yes, your guidelines are that you nominate at least 3 for grading, evaluating, and scoring.
Well, the only other 2 firms that have done work like that is, I don't know if Broadus has done it, but Broadus is a...
Broadus has worked with the city of Edinburgh
Edinburgh, I remember
and
Yeah,
related to the master plan
Yeah, they've
services.
also worked with a school district.
Correct. The only other firm that we've worked with that is part of your list is,
Does it have to be 3, or can it just be 2?
it's got to be at least 3. Can be more, but,
Well, the
and
only-
we have GAS also has been the other provider.
Just list those 3.
You brought us and GAS
Yeah, that's fine.
Who was the GS and who else, Marty?
and brought us and Associates?
Brought up an associate.
Okay, could I have action on that? Okay, so there's the nomination. Going on to item B.
You need action for A?
Yeah, well, I would think it would be most appropriate to approve it.
Move for
So
approval.
approve those
Second.
3 nominations.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Now we need to select or designate the graders for this project. Judge?
Jesse Ozuna. Go ahead, Judge.
Judge?
Oh, for the committee?
Yes,
I'll designate Yolanda for mine.
okay,
Raul Lozano.
okay.
Silguero.
And you, Commissioner?
Jesse Ozuna, out of my office.
Okay. And I will call, if the court is amenable to it, just call Commissioner Flores and
yeah.
whatever, whoever he...
Mingo has raised his hand. He says he'll appoint
Okay.
himself.
Okay, we got a volunteer.
With no phone
Okay.
calls.
All right, if we could take action, that it will be Yolanda
moved.
Chapa, Raul
Second.
Lozano, Raul Silguero, Mingo Villarreal Jr., and Jesse Osuna.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, going on to B1, this is a recommendation about your executive officer to take action regarding the county-owned building located at 9805 North 10th Street. That numeral had been left out, McAllen, Texas, including but not limited to A, cease AIA architectural agreement negotiations with the #1 ranked firm of ERO for those services as it stands. I believe we're going to be suspending that project until some other
Valde,
time.
what do you recommend?
I'm recommending to suspend the project. That's one of the capital improvement projects that I'm working with Sergio. At this time, that's not something that's feasible. And so I'm asking just to cease the negotiation, and then we'll bring that up during the budgeting process and as part of the overall picture, as Commissioner Palacios brought up, the capital improvement project as one of those capital improvement projects. But at this time, I'm recommending that we just stop the project.
All right. Any questions?
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
To follow Valde's recommendation, those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And B, as he just said, the recommendation is to cancel the project in its present form. And I need action on that.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
All right, going on to C1, this is for Precinct 2, requesting exemption under 262-024A4, a professional engineering service.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
I'm presenting the scoring grid of the 3 nominated firms, that being Sames Engineering, Barrera Land Surveying at 83, and Quintanilla Headley and Associates at 97. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is authority for the purchasing department to negotiate a professional engineering services agreement for Cesar Chavez project in Precinct 2.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And that is surveyors, so that I can be clear, it's surveying. Item D, 1 for Precinct 4, requesting authority to advertise and approval of plans and specifications developed by project architect Dannenbaum Engineering for Hidalgo County Precinct 4 building repairs and renovations, additions, or alterations to the Restitution Center at 1124 M Road in Edinburgh.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under item 2A, 1, 2, B, and C, no action until next week. The next item is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under 262-024A4, a professional service, and this is for the district attorney's office.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under item B, authority to enter into a negotiated professional services contract with Dr. Thomas G. Allen, Ph.D., for the provision of expert witness testimony in connection with death penalty prosecution cases.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Going on to F1, this is for facilities management, requesting modification, request approval to decrease PO number 692410 in the amount of $30,929.21 from Miller & Hunt Incorporated for concrete work and water line improvements. Proposed deduction will delete the installation of the fire line to the Precinct 1 Constable Building as reviewed and approved by the project engineer, Raul Cecin.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
E2, same project, acceptance and approval to increase PO number 680750 for Holchamont Limited as approved by Architect of Record Alcocer Garcia and Associates through AIA document 701-2001, G701-2001, change order number 3 in the amount of $28,430.33. For the request as outlined in the summary of change order number 3 to include but not limit to the installation of fire line, installation of bracings for the front porch and tile and this is for the continued construction of the Constable Building.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
In connection with that, and in addition to, item B is clarification of the betterment allowance entry on previous request of the AIA document G701-2001. Change order number 2 erroneously reflected $3,313.89 and has been changed to $3,013.89, which was the corrected
Second.
amount.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Need a motion to adjourn.
Judge,
Second.
Commissioners,
Open.
nothing under closed session, but I want to go straight to open session of the closed session item.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So under open session, 26A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same, no action. 26B, pending under potential litigation, there's no action. Item 26C, claim of Miguel A. Escaname. Judge Commissioner, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $526.86.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 26D, Mario Herrera III and Roxana Gonzalez versus Hidalgo County and Eduardo Martinez. Judge Commissioners, I'd like to refer back to item 7A1. I'm asking exemption from the competitive bidding requirements, 26202484.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
7A2, engagement with the firm of Preston Hendrickson for that representation as it pertains to open session item 26D, Mario Herrera III and Roxana Gonzalez versus Hidalgo County and Eduardo Martinez.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 26C, notice of claim regarding Paul William Lunho Labud. Judge Commissioners, I am recommending that we tender our deductible with respect to this claim under this insurance. The deductible is $25,000, so I'm asking the court to tender the deductible $25,000 with the stipulation that the insurance carrier provide us with a reconciliation for any expenses that fall within that deductible, so that I can provide that information to the auditor's office for documentation purposes.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
For the record, I need to abstain on that one. Is that the one?
No, sir, not that.
Okay.
And item, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, that is the one.
yes,
That is
that's
the
it,
one.
yes, you did abstain, yes,
You're
I
right.
apologize.
One abstention, Monica.
Yes. And 26F, Hidalgo County versus Del Sol Construction, reference Palmview Head Start. Judge Commissioners, for the record, we are assigning that to Mr. Rick Gonzalez, who is the attorney assigned to Head Start. Marty, do I need to do the exemption? I would do it. You would? Okay, Judge Commissioners, item 26F, the Palmview Head Start issue, I'd like an exemption under the bidding requirements 26202484.
So move.
Oh, yes, on the one.
Thank you.
Yes.
Do I have, Commissioner, are you seconding that?
Second.
Okay.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And 7A2, the engagement with the firm of Rick Gonzalez as it pertains to 26F, Hidalgo County versus Del Sol Construction, reference Palmview Head Start.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And our last item, 26G, Domingo Gonzalez versus Eliazardo Rodriguez et al., we will proceed as directed.
Need a motion to adjourn? What do you need?
Otro veo.
Steve.
Session? Was discussed in executive session?
Oh, okay. Yeah, if I could just have action on the proceed as directed on
Under
20,
pending of potential.
under 26G.
Yeah, do we need action on it?
No, it's acknowledgement. And under 26, I'm sorry, under 26,
Just a minute, please.
Hold up.
We're almost through.
under 26B, pending and/or potential litigation, Judge, there was an issue that was brought up. We will proceed as directed,
All right, sir.
okay? Thank
All
you,
right,
Judge
now we're
Commissioners.
ready. Need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, thank you, gentlemen.
That's what I told you.